Hello everyone and welcome back to my YouTube channel. If this is your first time on my YouTube channel, welcome. If you're returning subscribers, welcome back. So today I just have a few things that I'd like to share with you all. Something that I felt that has, helped me understand a little bit about parenting. And these little tips were shared during a family month we just concluded in my sister's church, the Noble Family Church. So I decided to, why not come here and share with you guys these few tips. I know that a lot of persons are already using this. Few persons haven't been using this and they're going to start, using the same tips to help them better their parenting skills. So with no further ado, let's dive into this video. Right. Now there are 4 stages of parenting. Okay, 4 basic stages of parenting. Right. Now the first stage is the discipline years. You heard me? Yes, the discipline years. Now, so for some persons, they'll be like, no, the child is still young. And now this year starts between 0 to 5. You can hear that. 0 to 5. So now, at this stage, you have more control over your children, right? You have more control over them. And this is the years where you have to set boundaries, let them know that there are consequences for each of their actions. This is 0 to 5, remember. All right. For some persons, they feel like, okay, it is at the point where the child is already of age that you start teaching the child discipline. No, this is the point where you have to teach your children how to be disciplined, how to take responsibilities for their actions, how to make them understand that there are boundaries that they need not to cross. Okay. And because you have control over your children at this point, it is easier for you to instill all of these disciplines into them. Now, between the 0 to 5 years, is every possibility that your children, their subconscious minds are quite still open. They don't really know the difference between right and wrong. So it's at this stage, at these years, that you have to instill a lot of discipline, a lot of morals, things they need to do, so that when they are now able to reason and decide which is right or wrong, those good morals are already instilled in them at that early age. Their subconscious mind is open to a lot of things, and that is why it's very important for you to watch what your children listen to, watch, and all of those things, because at that stage their minds are open. They cannot differentiate between right or wrong. So it is your duty as their parent to help them decide what is right and wrong, set boundaries for them, as well as what consequences. Now, moving to the second stage. Now, the second stage is the training years. You heard me right. The training years. Now, in this training years, the ages starts between, of course, 5 to 12, right? 5 to 12. At this stage, your children are now gaining understanding. They now understand, okay, this is why mommy said I shouldn't do this. This is why daddy said we shouldn't do this, right? At this stage, you have to correct them with more explanation. Rather than in the early years of 0 to 5, you don't correct them so much. You correct them rather, but no need for much explanations because they don't really understand all of those explanations. But at this 5 to 12 years, a lot of explanation should go into correction. As you're correcting them, make sure that you are actually backing it up with explanations on these corrections. And of course, this is the stage where your children are going to be bombarding you with a lot of questions. You heard me. A lot of questions. So as a parent, do not avoid any of these questions, right? Do not avoid any of these questions. Answer all their questions. Make sure that you're clear. They understand very well why you're telling them what they're supposed to do. Once they ask you any question, make sure you answer it. Do not avoid any question. Do not say, oh, my child is too young to understand all of these things. Answer all their questions, because if you don't answer their questions, they'll go out there and ask somebody else. And of course, if the person decides to give them a wrong answer, they'll go with it, because you as their parents, who they love and they confide in, is not able to direct them, answer these questions properly, right? Remember I said that this year is the training years, which is ages 5 to 12. Make sure that you correct them with more explanation, answer all their questions, as well as help them gain more understanding. Right? All right, guys. So moving on to the third stage, which is the coaching years. Now, this year starts between 12 to 18. Now, as you can take a look at the years, you understand that this is the teenagers' years. for most parents, they dread this period. They wish that this period will not come with their children. They always have heart attack to what they're going to do at this stage. Now, as it states that this stage is the coaching years, this is where you're their mentors. This is where they have to look up to you. This is where they watch what you do and they follow it, right? This is the stage where you're telling them what they need to do, as well as they're seeing that you're doing it, so it's easier for them to follow you. You shouldn't be a kind of parent that will tell them, don't do this, and then you're doing the same thing that you told them not to do, right? At this stage, you're giving them a lot of loving guidance, right? Loving guidance. You're not correct. There's less correction at this stage, right? And discipline. There's less correction, less discipline, because you've done all the correcting, all the discipline in the first 2 years, which is the discipline years and the training years. You've done a lot of correction, you've done a lot of discipline in those years. So in this year, you have to deal with less correction, less discipline. It doesn't mean that you wouldn't discipline, it doesn't mean that you wouldn't correct, but it is lesser right now because you've done all the work in the first 2 stages. And here, there is more connection with your children. This is where you have bonding time. This is where you spend lots of time. You make sure that they are doing exactly what you have taught them over the years, right? In-depth relationship. You need to build a huge bond between you and your children at this stage. At this stage, because of the work you've done in the discipline and the training stage, you just sit down and watch them practice all that you've taught them, right? They are more like doing what you have taught them. You're just taking a back seat, making sure that, okay, if they want to fall, you're still there to pick them up. If they want to go the wrong way, you're still there to, bring them back to what you have taught them. But there is it's not, you're not going with full force. You're not going with full force. You're taking the back seat and watching them, live their life while you're still around to make sure that they don't lose path, right? They don't go off trail, right? This is the coaching stage. This is where you talk to them, you sit them down, you have deep connection with your children. They see you as their mentor. You coach them, in so many ways, life, finances, the trail of life, and a whole lot more, right? That is what this stage is all about, the coaching years. Remember, it's 12 to 18 years. The final stage is the friendship years. Yes, the friendship years. Now, of course, this starts between 18 and whenever, right? Even till the child is 60 years, you still have this huge friendship with your children. Now, at this very stage, you just need to give your children space. Give your children space because you have given them, you've taught them all they need to do, right? You're now like their friends. They can confide in you. You both can gist about anything, because at this point you have done the work. All you're giving them is support. You're giving them emotional support. You're giving them financial support. You're giving them physical support, spiritual support from all around. That is what your children need from you at this very point. Now, trust me, if you've done the work from the discipline stage, the training years, the coaching years, at this friendship years, as a parent, you're just going to sit back and enjoy. You're just going to sit back and reap the fruit of your labor, because you worked so hard, right? You worked so hard from when the child was 0 years to when the child is 18 and above, and it's time for you to just be a support system to your children. Be there for them, give them space to make their own mistakes, to go out in the world, to experience it for themselves, while you're still there to give them the support. If they need advice, you're still there to give them advice as a parent and also as a friend, not really choking them up. Like I said, at this very stage, which is the friendship stage, you've done all the work already. So it's time for you to enjoy. You don't expect to start doing what you were supposed to do 18 years ago, 12 years ago. You want to start doing it now. It wouldn't work. And that's why many children have friction with their parents and vice versa, right? Because they didn't do what they were supposed to do at the right time. Okay? So with this, I've come to the end of the 4 stages of parenting. Okay, now if you're still watching to this point and you've not liked, you've not subscribed, what are you waiting for? You've not liked it, what are you waiting for? It is just there. Just subscribe. Support my channel. It's not going to, subscription is free, right? If you still want to be seeing beautiful content like this, you want to see my beautiful face and what I bring to the table here, please ensure to subscribe, and also ensure to hit the notification button so that whenever I post content, you'll be the first to be notified about it. Okay, so just before I wrap up this video, I'd like to just share a quick tip. Okay, now it is very important for parents and children and vice versa to always have conversations, communicate. Okay, don't expect that you know it all. And just a quick tip for someone who is having a little friction with their parents, maybe your parents don't really understand you, they feel like this child, I don't think you know what you're doing. This is how I want you to do it. If you're a child or an adult that is still having such friction with your parents, the advice I will give to you is have a sit down talk with your parents. Right? The reason why they don't feel like you can do what you say you want to do is because they feel like you're still a child. You can't handle it. You can't handle the world out there. You can't handle what is outside. So if you can have an honest conversation, sit your parents down. If it's your mom that's giving you the friction, if it's your dad that's giving you the friction, just sit down with them and talk about it. Let them know that these are your plans. Let them know that this is what you decide to do. This is how you want to do it. If you have that conversation with them, trust me, they will see that, oh, this my child, I'm thinking is a child, is not an adult. Oh, he or she can make decisions for themselves. He or she has a path that they want to go through. And trust me, they will definitely support you. The reason why people tend not to, they tend not to still have that balance with their parents because they've not sat down and had that conversation. They are running away from that conversation. They don't want to have that hard conversations. They feel like it's not worth it. But trust me, if you have that sit down conversation with them, you thank me later, right? And please, I'd like us to still continue these conversations in the comment section. If you're a parent and you followed all these steps, please leave a comment, in the comment section. It might help someone to really want to take action according to this. A lot of parents have actually gone through this step and their children come out amazingly well, but they didn't even know that this is what they did. Leave it in the comment section. If you're an adult or a young adult who has used this step, please do well to leave it in the comment section. Share your tips as well. Someone is likely to learn from it as well. And with no further ado, I'll say this is the end, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. If you feel like this is going to help somebody, do well to share, like, share, comments, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Signing out, Naomi Chris. Ciao.